I'm excited. I'll tell you why. Because one, we never had DJ in our studio. Two, you are our DJ because you've been actually working with us. And we started working with you early in a year with Jordan Belford.
Yeah.
He was so polite, professional, and most importantly to us, a crowd loved you. And then we get to know you a little bit more. And then we had another event. And again, you really entertained us all. But you take it really to another level. It's great to see a lady being great DJ and getting to know you a little bit more. I can see how passionate you are.
Thank you so much.
Who is sitting in front of me? Tell us. Who is this lady?
My name is Shiralee Coleman.
SC, we established that
People
before.
know me as SC. Hey, EJ, SC is in the house.
Boom.
Thank you for having me, and that was so lovely of you to say. I've really enjoyed.
You're part of the family now,
I
so
know,
you can't run away.
It's so nice, and it's really been so lovely to work with you and your team and do your shows, and it's been amazing. I've loved it.
And your journey is so interesting.
Thank you.
I always say we all have a story.
Yeah.
Because right now, you're very well known in Australia and starting to be very well known around the world. You have a massive following on social media. You have your own tracks, so you're not just DJ. You are really DJ that is really trying to take your career to another level. You're being creative. But it didn't start like that.
It didn't start like
How
that.
did it all start? I know how. You told me the story, but tell us, how did your journey start?
Well, I've actually wanted to be a DJ for 15 years before I actually started.
Yes.
It was a dream of mine, but I don't know, I put it away while I was doing
Yes.
other things, and I was in the world of PR and marketing, and I was working in agency for brands and fashion brands.
Yes.
So I was using my business degree towards that and working in that world, and this was at a time where social media started taking off, and
Yes.
we were going from traditional marketing to online, and
Yes.
and the first kind of like the OGs, what I call them, the OGs of Instagram and social media, started to emerge, and I started to put my clients, my fashion clients, onto these rising social media stars, and I was going to a lot of events at the time, and my clients were like, well, when you wear them and when you post them, we can actually get a good result.
Right.
So this is when my Instagram life started in 2012, and
Yes.
I followed that, and that led me around
Which
the
is
world.
interesting. That's when I started my Instagram.
Yes.
2012.
Yeah, we were onto it from the
Yeah,
start.
there you go. Oh, geez.
Yeah, and while I was doing this, Khloe Kardashian posted me, and then I
No
ended up
shit.
getting a huge influx of followers from America, and I think that was one of my landmark posts at the start. And then I just went on this journey, and I started posting, traveling, working with fashion clients all around the world, and it led me into travel blogging, and I became a fashion and travel blogger.
Right.
Yes. So
I didn't know
dove
any
in.
of this. So this is actually interesting.
new,
So keep
yeah.
talking.
So I just went with it because it was
Right.
great, and I was loving my life, and I didn't really need to get into the music. I couldn't add anything into
Yes.
that, but I've always been obsessed with music. If you ask any of my friends, if you ask any of my DJ friends, I was always the one in the booth. I was always putting the playlists together on Spotify and sending them to friends and finding new songs, and it was always a passion of mine. So it just came to a time in my life where I'm like, I have to give in to this.
Yes.
I really want to pursue this. And
Straight away, lesson to be learned.
yes.
A lot of people have a dream, have a passion, and they never do anything about it. Even if they're dreaming about it for 1 year, 5 or 15, you still didn't wanna get rid of that passion.
I couldn't.
You said, you know what, I'm gonna do it one day, but you actually went and said, you know what, I'm doing it.
And now looking back, it was all about the timing of it. If I didn't have that social media platform that I had built in that time, to then launch my music career, I think I would have probably had a really much more difficult time.
Yes.
And the day that I cracked, I was on this road trip with my best friend and we were playing all of my music. I'm like, I've got the best taste in music.
So all the songs that you
she's
selected.
like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, I'm going to become a DJ. I'm going to actually do it. And I called one of my dear friends, who is now my manager. He advised me when I said to him, how do I become a DJ? And he said, you've got to go to DJ school.
Yes.
So that's what I did. That was my first step.
Because, all of us like the idea of
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
I have idea of becoming a DJ. Oh, the reality is, buddy, you got to go to school. You got to start from the bottom.
Yeah.
Education.
I've got to start. I had to start at the bottom.
Do you know what I mean? Because, you know the tracks that you like, but
Yeah.
how do you put a package together? And this is one thing that always keep preaching, that idea and vision without action means nothing.
Yes.
Means nothing. I mean,
Absolutely.
I can have a will to become somebody all my life.
Yeah.
You don't take action, that dream never comes anywhere.
That's right. And I knew I had to start again, but I also had some aces up my sleeve that I'd already had in my world.
Yes.
I was just adding that into it. So, I mean, starting again was very daunting after thinking about it for such a long time and wanting to do it. I'm like, where do I start? What do I
Yes.
do? And so off I went to the National Music Academy and I walk in the doors and I'm like, okay, let's see if I can mix.
This is actually not a party. It's actually a real school where I have to learn.
Yeah, and I had to learn the technical side of things because I couldn't just get up there and, take a pretty picture. It wasn't like my
Yes.
modelling world. It was time to, learn a new craft and a new skill. And I remember the first day when I walked into DJ school, I was thinking to myself, wow, have I left this too late?
Yes.
I don't know. And this kid walks out of the room that I'm about to go in for a lesson. And I think he was about 7 years old and he was holding some mini decks. And I'm thinking, wow, this has really put me
Mama
in my
in the
place.
house!
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm questioning all my life decisions at this point going, wow, maybe I should have started early. But here I am, still turning up. And
Still, again,
still did it.
I always say this, in any conversation, I love observing and I love listening. In any conversation we all have with anybody, there's a lot to get out of any
Yeah.
conversation. And
True.
one thing you just said, I showed up.
Yes, showed up anyway.
So even conversation, I always like to say to anybody listening, any kind of podcast or conversation, just pay fucking attention, because one thing again, where you are now started from nothing.
Yeah.
You showed up. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter who was there. You showed up, and then you spent time learning the craft.
Yes. And I was so happy that I did because in the first lesson, I did the mix.
Yes.
And then I felt confident about my decision. It was just about walking through that door and getting onto the tools and just
Yes.
having a go. And I did. And then I felt better. And I'm like, okay, let's go again.
But then you went to school. You learned.
I
You
learnt.
feel fantastic. I can DJ.
I can DJ. Well,
Tell me the
at
feeling.
this point, I was just at school. I had not done a public set at all.
Which is a big difference.
Yes, it is.
How scary for you was it to do your first public appearance?
I will tell you. It was interesting. I remember I was 6 months into learning and I didn't really feel like I was ready to even tell many people that I'd been doing this. I was kind of doing it on the quiet to see if it was something that I really wanted to do. I posted a few little snippets on my stories and whatnot, but I didn't really tell anyone that I was going all in. And then I got a call.
But you knew you were all in.
Oh, yeah, I did. And I couldn't go all in until that point. I had been traveling a lot and I had, so many other things I wanted to do, but now I was making music my priority. I'd made the decision. I'm going all in. And I can't do things like 50-50. I can't
You either do it or you
go,
don't.
I'm going to still do my modelling and I'll still do my music part-time. No, I was going all in
Yes.
because I needed to see what I could do with it. And I remember the first time I got called to do a set and It was George, who is now my manager, and
yes.
you've met
I met
him.
George, yes, he's great.
Exactly. And he said, "Look, I have a request here for a female DJ. It is for Mecca. It's
Yes.
for a store opening. So Mecca is a makeup store,
Yes.
and they wanted a female. And he said, "You're the perfect fit. Why don't you do it?" I'm like, "I'm not ready." He's like, "No, you're doing this.
But
you're
then,
ready."
are you ever ready?
No, you've just got to dive in. You've just got to see it. And the funny thing is, there wasn't even a dance floor at this event.
Right.
Imagine walking into a Westfield. Okay,
Yes.
here's the DJ outside a store doing a set, and
Yes.
it's just for vibe. It's
Yes.
there's no pressure
Yes.
of the dance floor, like if the crowd are going to love it or not.
Yes.
And I was shaking, like I was like
Yes.
this. My hands were shaking. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But honestly, it was the best thing. It was the perfect first set.
And specifically, when you are under pressure, I always say, every time just before I walk on the stage to speak in front of 1,000 people, doesn't matter how much I prepare myself, that 30 seconds before I walk on the stage, I was like, fuck, I just forgot everything. Everything I want to do, I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to speak? It's just my brain just goes in blank. But then because I really want to deliver, the second I go on the stage, I was like, okay, I'm here, let's party. So, and
I love how you speak at the shows. They're so good.
I think
Really
I'm so passionate about things that I
Yes.
do, and I speak from heart, and I like to be authentic. I like to be me. So I will always pass message to people how I feel, and that's probably how you're so good at what you do as well. Even the first time you went on the stage, so went from first show.
First show.
Second,
I was playing
confidence
in a
started
club.
growing.
Second was in a club, and it was at King Street, Newcastle.
Right.
So it was a home show, which was good.
Because you are from Newcastle.
I am from Newcastle. Yes, Newcastle, homegrown. And it was interesting because I didn't want to tell anyone that I was
Yes.
playing a club set. And so it was easier for me to play in front of strangers than in front of my friends.
I was about to say, is that why you didn't want to tell anybody? Because you were nervous of your friends?
Yeah, I was nervous.
Were you afraid to be judged?
I was afraid to be judged because it was something new, and everyone thinks, oh, DJs are 20 years old and whatnot. And here I am rolling in and doing, for my first club set. But it went really well, and then after that set, I was fine.
And
the first two were like the most difficult for me, I have to say.
Yes.
Just to get past that point, and not that it's been easy since then. Absolutely not. Every show is different. Every crowd is different. Every set is different. I don't play the same set every show that I do.
So you
I
have to
tailor-make it to my audience. And if I know that I'm going somewhere for a certain venue, for a certain event, I will definitely.
Which is interesting. Even, before you were DJ at our events, we had a conversation, what crowd wants and, what we're trying to do as well.
Yeah.
Which means
I did my research on you.
Yeah, but you put a lot of work prior to actually get on the stage. So it's not just I'm there and Now, moving things forward, today you have experience behind your back. You have traveled the world.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You have DJ'd Dubai.
Yes.
Asia.
Yes.
All of Australia, obviously.
Yes.
And again, you got your few tracks as well. So where you are now, looking back, a few questions I have for you. Was it an easy journey?
Absolutely not. There was so much work involved. A lot has happened for me over the 5 years that I've been DJing. And I'm very appreciative of my journey in particular. And I'm so grateful because I've put my passion into that, and I've also teamed up with an amazing team around me to mentor me, to guide me, and to show me some of the ropes in the music industry. Going from the fashion PR world into music. Music's savage. It's tough. It's competitive.
Because when I'm thinking about DJing, it's like, fuck, that's a fun job. That looks easy. All you're doing is, but it's not, everything looks easy.
I make it look easy.
You make it look easy.
I make it look fun. And it is fun. It's the highest rush that you could get.
Yes. but also the reality is there's a lot of hard work to get there.
To that moment, till you get on stage, there's a lot of work. There's people approaching you to do shows. Then
Yes.
there's contracts or doing the deals and,
Yes.
speaking to a lot of people who want to inquire and then going from there and like putting
Yes.
that together and then putting the show itself together.
Yes.
But then I also go one step further. I'm really into my styling, or I'm into posting and sharing my content
Yes.
from every event. And I think that's what my clients love.
You
when they
said
book me.
for anybody that wants to get in the industry, you
Yes.
said it's a savage.
It is savage.
It's competitive.
It is competitive.
Just like every other business. So it's
True.
not just I'm a DJ, I'm a celebrity, I got a few 100,000 followers, life is great.
I wish it was that easy. It sounds great when you summarize it like
When
that.
you summarize it,
Yeah.
of course, it doesn't matter how hard it is. Like you said, you make it fun, you make it enjoyable. Otherwise,
Yes.
what the hell is the point, right?
That's right.
How competitive is the industry?
Well, when I first started, I realized it was mainly a boys' club.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of male DJs. So for me to get taken seriously as a female DJ who has been a model as well,
Yes.
I mean, there's a bit of a preconception about
Yes.
me and who I am.
She's just a model, not a DJ.
That's right.
Right.
So there were pros and cons to what I did before
Yes.
my music. And I really had to prove myself, I have to say.
Yes.
And
Because pretty face can only last 2 minutes. But for you
Yes.
to be consistent
Yes.
and have a gig after gig,
Yeah.
to play constantly,
Yeah.
your looks can't last forever. You gotta be good at your craft as well
Yes.
for people to come and actually listen to you, because they can't just stand there for 6 hours looking at your face. No offense. Do you know what I mean?
It's true,
because
though.
people go out, they want to entertain themselves, they want to enjoy amazing music.
Yes.
So if you suck, there's
Yeah.
no coming back for them.
And that's the thing. I want them to come to my shows, not only just to see me, but to listen to me and go, wow, she can
She's
actually
good.
play. She can
Yes.
mix. I love her tracks. I love her music. I
Yes.
love what she chose and
Well, that's
how
why
she
we
made me
got you
feel.
again, because not because you there, because we knew that our audience enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and so we did. So us as well. And now, what is the hardest thing about being a DJ?
I would have to say I work some really odd hours.
Yes.
And I work a lot of hours, even though you may see me on the stage for like an hour. There's a lot of work that goes into that,
Yes.
from putting the sets together, from talking to all different venues. For me, going to the sets, I live in Newcastle, so I have to travel to Sydney if I'm doing shows. But if they're
2 hour drive.
overseas, yeah, that's right. And if I'm traveling, which is usually the case, there's a lot involved. So there's a lot of hours, and I'm a bit of a night owl now. Like I'm up at 1, 2, 3 a.m.
Yes.
every night, but then I sleep later than everyone else. So I guess my body clock is kind of a little bit different, and I feel like I work all the time.
Yes. And what would be your advice to any lady
Who wants
that's
to be a
out
DJ?
there who wants to be a DJ? So there's somebody
get asked-
18 years old or 20
Yes.
years old. They see you on the stage. They see crowd. Everybody's having fun.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I want to do that one day.
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
I'd tell them the same advice that I got told, go to DJ school.
Right.
Start there. Because if you can technically learn how to do it, then that's where you have to start.
Yes.
And then I would buy decks for the house
Yes.
and I'd practice every single day.
There's two things in every business. There's a craft,
Yes.
which you have. You know how to DJ. But you have to wear two hats. You have to be a marketer.
Oh, you have to be a marketing machine.
You
And
know,
lucky my marketing and PR background played a big part
I
in
think
this.
you have taken advantage of what you have learned in the past.
Yes.
Because you used to do marketing for other people as well,
Yes.
and yourself. So how important that? That is crucial, in my opinion, to be, you know what? Yeah, I'm so good at DJing, but I'm going to actually get myself out there.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you constantly do. As good as your craft is, you're constantly marketing your craft to your audience.
I think it's really important. I think talent has to match your brand when it
Yes.
comes to being a DJ, because the most talented person could have the most amazing music on their laptop or in
Yes.
their studio, but they've got 2 followers and they're not sharing it with anybody.
Yes.
And then you could have the opposite where someone has 1 million followers and then zero talent and doesn't even know how to mix properly. Either of those situations isn't ideal at all.
I mean,
so
look,
you've got to have like, you do have to have a mix of both.
And
it's
also,
essential.
and as much as you know, are good at your craft and as much as you're good marketer, third aspect is if you don't want to work hard, it's all over.
That's right.
You know, as much as you always say to anybody that's talented, I might not be as talented as you, but fuck, I'm going to outwork you any day of the week.
The
you and
hustle
everybody
is
else.
so important.
I always say, you know, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but fuck, the reason why I'm so successful at my craft, because I know I'm so persistent, I will fucking get what I want, and I will go after it, and I will work harder, or I will outwork anybody out there. So that's one thing I always keep telling people, you know, fuck your craft.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give it that time that it deserves or needs for you to be successful, specifically in your craft. I mean, look, you know, just here today, it takes you 2 hours just to get to this, to come to Sydney, 2 hours back. So you lose half of the day. So that alone is commitment. Now, being a DJ is one thing, but let's talk about creating your own tracks.
Yes.
You, correct me if I'm wrong, you launched your new song Saturday past.
No, I haven't launched it yet. It's about to go
So
online.
okay, maybe I'm spoiling the freaking surprise, right?
No, not at all. Everyone's heard little snippets of it. I have played it.
Okay.
And I've been road testing it before
Right.
I'm about to launch it. I want
Yes.
people to hear it. I want to see if it's working
Right.
before I actually go out there and actually put it online. So it's been good so far. We're about to release it, and
Right.
I'm really excited about this track. I've released one song per year since I've started.
Yes.
And I've learnt so much about the releasing music process.
Yes.
And with my first track, Can You Feel It?
Yes.
When I look back on it and I go, oh, that's cute. I mean, because I didn't know anything about releasing music then.
Yes.
But I knew how to market it.
Yes.
So we did this big party on C-Deck
You
in
cannot
Sydney.
sell a secret. You have to get it out there.
Yeah, that's right. And I put it out there, and Can You Feel It was great. And I had my first experience with promoting a song and doing radio interviews and getting it placed and, you know, putting it in putting it out there, seeing if it would chart and everything. And it did well. It was good. But my second song did really well.
Right.
So I worked on Desire with Daniel Tonic.
Yes.
And he is a producer from Sydney.
Yes.
And we worked on this track together. And that one did really well for me. It charted, you know, ones, top tens. Like it was amazing. And it got played by Armin van Buuren, who is...
Yes. One of my favorites.
he's amazing. And it got played to his 41 million listeners.
Yes.
And I remember the day that it got played on A State of Trance. And my phone's notifications didn't stop for weeks.
Yes.
It was incredible. Like
Which is a good fuel, you know, for you to keep doing, you know, what you're doing as well.
See, I get these landmark kind of events, like, you know, big influencers who have these millions and millions of followers, like your Khloe Kardashian or your Van Buren, who will reshare my content, and then everyone starts to notice and go, okay, they're going to take her seriously now. This was my second track in, and also my third year of playing music and producing. So, yes, it was just...
But as much as you have that special moment, you can't stop.
No, absolutely.
You got
to keep going.
How can you leverage it
That's
more
right.
to take you to another level as well? Because the second you become complacent, it'll be fucking history the next day.
That's why.
So you can't afford to become complacent in any way.
Oh, absolutely not. And that was so exciting for our team, especially at Pumping Records. And George is the director of Pumping Records. He's also my manager. And that was such a big moment for all of us, and it was great. It was unreal. So it was like, on to the next track. What are we doing next?
What is next for you?
So Night Like This was the track after that.
Yes.
And that has received the most streams that I've ever had.
Yes.
So I did capitalize on the success of Desire, the
Yes.
track before that. And that time we did a remix of the song that Kylie Minogue made famous, On a Night Like This. And we made it a club version and a more modern version. The song was 20 years old and we
Yes.
just wanted to give it a new lease on life, and everyone loves Kylie, and I play at Mardi Gras.
I met her in Croatia.
Did you? I love
Last
her.
year.
She's amazing.
Well,
Yes.
definitely Australian icon, really. to
She
be honest.
absolutely is. And that's what drew me to the song as well.
Yes.
An Australian, a female performer from Australia, you know, like she's iconic in the gay scene as well. And I play at Mardi Gras.
Yes, yes. That's
So,
awesome.
so I wanted to premiere Night Like This
Yes.
at the Honey Burdette shows that I do
Yes.
every year at Mardi Gras. So that is why we chose that song.
Where you are today,
Yes.
what's next for you?
I'm about to release Always You, which
Okay.
is a great track. It's a big melodic bass line. We've got Clarita De Quiros on vocals. George and I have produced it and we're about to launch it. And I want to see how it goes in Dubai. Clarita is very well known there as a singer, and Dubai is just a place where I see myself performing a lot more.
Yes.
I think because there's an amazing scene there.
Yes.
Like it's a really vibrant city. It's popping. It's amazing.
It's center of the world at the moment.
That's right. And it is just, I don't know, it's just always every night. There's something happening. There's amazing clubs. There's amazing restaurants. The entertainment is next level. And unfortunately, I feel like Sydney is a bit behind.
Yes, yes.
And I want to move to the next level with my music. And
then
why
bring
not
it-
go to the center of the world where it's all happening?
And then bring it back to Australia as
That's
well
right.
and get
Yes.
us to be on the next level.
Yes. I feel like they think, I feel like in Australia, if you're cool overseas, then you're cool here. Like,
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
what is with that, but I feel like that's the thing.
I can say it's great to see that I love people that are giving it a go and that
Yeah.
are trying to perfect their craft. And I love people that start something and they keep doing it, not giving up. Because when you start anything on start, it's freaking hard. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's still hard today. I've been in business for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
It's still hard, and I employ a couple of hundred people, and financially, company is an amazing place. But nothing worthwhile is easy, right?
Yeah.
But it's great to see that you keep doing it, that you keep having fun, and that you keep encouraging future DJs, male and female,
I love
to
seeing all
do
the new female DJs come up. It's
girl
great.
power.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm seeing more and more of them, and I love that because when I first started, I thought there was a lot less.
Yes.
And now there's more, and that's great. And you were speaking to Jay earlier. She does an event called
Yes,
Femme Fatale, and it's an all-girl lineup, and it's great. It's
There
very
you go.
empowering to play that show. I love that show.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Boom.